Chosen one, what you're about to hear is not just important, it's time sensitive. If you're watching right now, it's not a coincidence. You've been guided here because a pivotal moment in your life is unfolding. You've been through seasons of struggle, prayer, preparation, and quiet waiting. Now, you're standing at the edge of transformation. This moment, right now, is what everything has been leading to. You are not here by accident. You've been prepared for this time, even if it didn't always feel that way. The dreams you once saw as distant are now within reach. But in order to receive what's coming, something is required of you, your decision. This is not just a mindset shift. This is the final step, a step of faith, clarity, and obedience. Let's be clear. The path ahead isn't about dramatic change overnight or vague motivation. It's about aligning your actions with divine purpose. If you don't move forward now, if you stay stuck in hesitation, fear, or doubt, you may miss a season meant for your elevation. This is a spiritual and practical crossroad. You're being invited into something greater, a life of fulfillment, clarity, and breakthrough, but only if you're willing to act. Pause for a moment and consider this. Are you ready to step out of waiting mode and into receiving mode? We often hear about patience, divine timing, and preparation. All of that has its place. But what most people forget is that there comes a moment when faith must become action. This is that moment. Right now, you are being called to shift, not only spiritually, but mentally and emotionally. To move out of self-doubt and into self-belief. To leave behind delay and enter momentum. This isn't about hustling or chasing opportunities. It's about responding to what God has already placed within you. You're not being asked to chase your future, you're being asked to step into it. And to be honest, that step is not always comfortable. It might feel uncertain or even scary. But just because something feels uncomfortable doesn't mean it's not right. Growth and breakthrough almost always begin with a step that stretches us. Let's talk plainly. The biggest threat to your breakthrough right now isn't failure. It's hesitation. Doubt. Overthinking. The fear of, what if I'm wrong? These things don't protect you, they delay you. They keep you stuck in a cycle of waiting, preparing, and replaying the past. But here's the truth, you are already prepared. Everything you've been through has equipped you for this exact moment. And yet, if you don't take the step, nothing moves. The enemy knows how close you are. That's why the resistance has increased. That's why distractions feel stronger. It's not random, it's strategic. Because if you stop here, you won't see what's waiting on the other side. But if you go forward, even trembling, you step into the very thing you've been praying for. Sometimes people confuse divine timing with passivity. But understand this, divine timing is not about waiting indefinitely, it's about moving when the time is right. And that time is now. There's a window open, a spiritual momentum that's unfolding in your favor. But it won't last forever. If you don't move, the opportunity will pass. If you do move, you'll find the doors are already unlocked. You don't need to create a way, you simply need to walk through it. God's promises are sure, but they are also partnered with your obedience. He has done the work of setting the path. You have to do the work of stepping onto it. Taking this step doesn't necessarily mean quitting your job or making drastic changes overnight. Often, it starts with subtle but serious shifts. Saying yes to the promptings you've ignored. Declining the distractions that pull you off track. Organizing your priorities to reflect what matters. Speaking and acting in alignment with the vision placed in your spirit. It means doing the thing that scares you, the thing that requires faith, not just comfort. For some, that's applying for the opportunity you've been avoiding. For others, it's cutting ties with the people who drain your energy. For many, it's simply trusting that God's voice within is greater than the fear outside. Let's make one thing clear, what's next for you is already written. It's not something you have to figure out, it's something you have to walk into. The favor, the peace, the clarity, the provision, it's all part of the next chapter. But you don't get the reward without the risk. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it's unfamiliar. But that's the nature of divine elevation. You're not just being promoted externally. You're being elevated internally. The strength, wisdom, and resilience that were formed in your silent seasons are the foundation for what you're about to receive. You've already been prepared. The inner work has been done, even if you didn't realize it at the time. The long nights, the quiet struggles, the unanswered prayers, the character-shaping challenges, they were all part of the process. Now, it's time to walk into what's already been assigned to you. But understand this, the next level won't come by doing what you've always done. Familiarity won't lead to breakthrough. What got you here won't get you there. To receive the life that's waiting, you'll need to let go of what's been holding you in place, not just circumstances, but outdated thinking. Patterns of delay. Emotional loops. Internal battles you've already overcome but keep revisiting. This step requires clarity, conviction, and the courage to embrace change, not because you're chasing more, but because you've grown into more. What you're about to experience is not something that will slowly evolve. The shift has already started. You might feel it, a quiet inner nudge, a sense of urgency, or a subtle discomfort with your current situation. That's not stress, that's alignment calling you forward. Everything is beginning to accelerate. Conversations are shifting. Connections are changing. New doors are opening while others quietly close. What felt slow for years may now happen in days. That's what divine timing looks like. It seems sudden, but in truth, it's simply the visible result of everything that's been building in silence. You are being aligned with your purpose. What once felt forced will now feel natural. What once drained you will now fall away. You won't have to chase what is already yours. It's easy to believe you've missed your moment. That you waited too long. That others are ahead of you. But comparison is not the measure of divine timing. God's plan isn't linear, and it's not based on speed, it's based on purpose. You're not late. You're not behind. You're exactly where you're meant to be, because this moment could not have arrived a day earlier. Had it come too soon, you wouldn't have been ready. You would have rushed it, mishandled it, or doubted your own worth. But now, you've been built for it. The maturity you've gained through pain has prepared you to carry what's next with wisdom, not pride. Don't look back and regret the waiting. Celebrate the preparation. Because it's the reason you'll be able to sustain the blessing, not just receive it. Faith isn't passive. It's not just about believing something will happen, it's about living like it already has. That means showing up differently. It means speaking with clarity, not confusion. It means making choices that align with where you're going, not where you've been. It means acting in agreement with what God has promised, even before you see the evidence. Faith looks like building the business before the funding arrives. Preparing the space before the opportunity is confirmed. Speaking life over a situation that still looks like a loss. If you want the atmosphere around you to shift, your posture has to shift first. Faith creates movement. It opens the door that logic cannot. It's important to understand, elevation comes with responsibility. This next chapter isn't just about what you can receive, it's about what you're now ready to carry. Influence, visibility, abundance, leadership, they sound like rewards, but they're also assignments. You're not being blessed for comfort. You're being positioned for impact. You're being asked to represent integrity in a world that rewards shortcuts. To live with purpose in a culture driven by popularity. To stay grounded when everything around you is designed to distract you. God is trusting you with more, not just because you asked, but because you've proven you're willing to honor the process. And that responsibility begins the moment you say yes, not after everything looks perfect, but while it's still unfolding. There's no room for extra baggage where you're going. And that includes the emotional weight, the unresolved conflicts, the overextended obligations, and the roles you've outgrown. God isn't just elevating your external life, he's refining your internal landscape. So if relationships start shifting, if habits start feeling off, if routines stop working, don't panic. That's not failure, it's transition. You're being stretched, not broken. It's the pruning process before growth. Let go, even if it feels unfamiliar. Cling to peace, not control. And remember, anything that falls away in this season was never meant to stay for the next. Imposter syndrome will try to visit you during this shift. You'll start hearing thoughts like, who am I to be chosen? What if I'm not ready? What if I fail once I get there? But those thoughts are based on your past limitations, not your current reality. You are not who you were 5 years ago. Or even 5 months ago. You've grown. You've healed. You've surrendered. And you've been equipped in silence for a moment just like this. Your strength doesn't come from your credentials, it comes from your character. So, stand tall in that. Speak from that. Move from that. You don't need to feel 100% confident. You only need to be 100% committed. This isn't about pressure, it's about opportunity. Everything you've heard today is already available to you. But it won't be forced on you. The shift requires your yes. It requires your willingness to walk away from the familiar. It asks for boldness when it would be easier to retreat. But if you do, if you say yes to the call, to the discomfort, to the obedience, you will witness transformation on every level. And when that happens, it won't be subtle. You'll notice the peace in your decision-making. You'll feel the clarity in your relationships. You'll experience provision where there was once lack. You'll see doors open with ease, not because you forced them, but because you were ready. So chosen one, take the step. Say yes to the shift. Step into the life that's already yours. The future you've prayed for is no longer a prayer. It's a reality waiting for your response.